What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It's time for the live starting 11 prediction for tomorrow's game at Celtic Park against St Mirren. As I say, this video is live. You can get your comments in the live chat box below, and I'll try and pick out any good ones as I go through the preview and then the starting lineup. Before we get into it, looking ahead to tomorrow's game, I've got something to tell you. We've been working on something for a couple of months now, and I'm hoping it's going to be ready by the end of the week. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but I hope the next starting 11 prediction that you watch will look a lot different. Now, St Mirren come into this one under new management. Stephen Robinson has come in after Jim Goodwin left for Aberdeen. We know all about Stephen Robinson from his time at Motherwell. He started with a 2-0 win, a 2-0 defeat against Hearts at New St Mirren Park at the weekend. I think they were hard done by in that game, to be honest. I watched the highlights back. There's a penalty decision go against them. They're currently part of that cluster of teams in the middle of the table between 4th and 9th. There's only like 3 points separating all of those teams. They're currently sitting 8th in the table. 2 games against St Mirren this season. Obviously the 6-0 win back at the start of the season, and then that really disappointing 0-0 draw just before Christmas that cost us 2 points. I think the performance level recently and the results the last couple of weeks mean that we can't take this game for granted. We can never take any game for granted, but when we're not performing well, particularly St Mirren have taken points off us, as I say, the last time out when we played them, and last season as well. So we've got to perform tomorrow. We got away with it at the weekend, if you like, after Motherwell taking points off Rangers at Ibrox, which I don't think anyone expected after the full-time whistle at Easter Road. So we've got to get back to the form we were in 6 or 7 weeks ago. I think we've got too many players underperforming just now, and the team just looks a bit disjointed, so we've got to do our best to get back to top form. Now we'll start in goals, as we always do, with Joe Hart. Again, not a save for him really to make on Sunday. No shots on target for Hibs, but a bit of a calamity at the end with that free kick. But the less said about that, the better. We'll start at left back this week. I think Greg Taylor will keep his place. I know that there's debate about what we should do at left back. Should we put Juranovic out there, bring Ralston back in on the other side? Scales obviously played the European game last week, but I don't see him coming in. And I think the defence, again, the defensive setup has been good even in the last couple of weeks. Aside from the European games, of course, I'm talking about domestically here. We've had 15 clean sheets in the league. That's more than any other team. And again, as I say, we denied Hibs any shots on target at the weekend. So I don't expect too many changes. At centre half, I think it will be Starfelt and Carter Vickers. And completing the back four, I do expect it to be Juranovic. Could we see Ralston come in? You can let us know in the comments, by the way, if you think Ralston should come in and play at right back and we should put Juranovic out on the left hand side. I'm just not sure in these games that we need to do that. I think these sort of games at home, we should be able to play with a natural left sided player at left back, and hopefully get the performance we're looking for. In midfield, which again was really poor on Sunday, McGregor, you'd obviously expect him to keep his place. In front of him, Hatate, who again probably had his poorest game in a Celtic jersey so far at the weekend. Just didn't happen for him at all. Really slack on the ball. I think he tired in the game as well. Alongside him, we've seen Tom Rogic. I think that's 4 poor performances in a row for Tom Rogic. He's just been really disappointing recently. And it's interesting if you contrast some of the players in the team who have been more consistent, the less glamorous players, if you like, maybe defensively, who've played pretty well this season. When they have a bad game, it gets really blown out of proportion. But Tom Rogic, who has been brilliant from a creative point of view at times this season, has put in 4 really, really poor performances. And I expect him to drop to the bench tomorrow. I think he's got to. I thought O'Reilly would start in a couple of these games recently, and Rogic has gone in ahead of him. I think O'Reilly done marginally better than Rogic on Sunday, but to be fair, I can't say he was brilliant when he came on, but I just don't see how you can start Tom Rogic based on the form for the last 3 or 4 games. I really don't. On the right hand side, I think Abada will play there again. Telling on Sunday that the manager didn't turn to James Forrest on the bench. I don't know if he was carrying a knock of any kind, but a bit strange when you're chasing a game at 0-0, not playing well at all, and James Forrest is on the bench available and he doesn't even get any minutes. I think that might tell you where the manager's thinking's at in terms of the forum that James Forrest has been in. I just don't see him starting in this game at all. The difficulty though is, again, with Giakoumakis injured at the weekend, Kyogo and Turnbull still out, you are back to a situation on the bench, as I said, where you thought, who can we look to turn this game for us? And we didn't really have many options. So maybe if you start a Forest, then Abada might be a better impact player off the bench, but I just don't see it. Just don't see it tomorrow. I think we've got to start with the strongest team possible, and we've got to start at a fast tempo. We were too slow all day on Sunday, far too slow through the middle of the pitch particularly. We've got to start quickly, we've got to get an early goal, try and get that confidence back that we had, as I say, 6 or 7 weeks ago, and hopefully with a good performance we can get the good result that we need. On the left hand side, I think Jota will obviously start there. Again, really poor performance, difficult day for him on Sunday. The one thing that stands out to me, he's brilliant at a lot of things, Jota, but cutting in and shooting for distance isn't one of them. His long range shooting technique's really poor. Blazed to nearly out of the stadium on Sunday, one right at the end. He's got to get back to form as well, because he's took a dip along with most of the players in the team in recent weeks. So he's got to get back to top form, because without Kyogo, he is probably our next best creative player, certainly in that front three. So we're looking for a better performance from him tomorrow. The manager said today that Giakoumakis is 50-50. I'm going to put him in. Obviously that depends on whether he's fit or not, but we'll just need to wait and see with that one. I think it's a toss of a coin. I remember saying a few weeks back, maybe once Maeda came in, that Giakoumakis was comfortably a third choice striker. I don't really think there's been much to split Giakoumakis and Maeda in the last few weeks. Maeda hasn't really taken his chance when he's had it through the middle. Now that is partly due to a lack of service, because the team isn't playing very well around him. But Giakoumakis did get a hat-trick in his last domestic game at Celtic Park, so I think if he's fit, he will get the nod to start. I'm going to jump to some questions before we finish up. Kieran Gillespie's asking, Paul, do you stand by us playing the Huns in a friendly in Australia? Absolutely not. I couldn't think of a worse idea. I know the club have confirmed that we're going to play this 4-game tournament in Australia in November. I just can't go it. The opponents are yet to be confirmed. I don't know if it's just a rumour that we're meant to be playing Rangers, but I'd be astounded if they were involved. And I don't know. I just think if people in Australia want to see Celtic, they should come to Glasgow and see Celtic. I don't necessarily think that during the World Cup the club should be taking players across the other side of the world to try and earn a few bob. But listen, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see who we're playing. We'll wait and see what the ramifications of that are. I know there's going to be a 4 or 5 week break in the middle of next season because of the World Cup in Qatar. But no, I'm not for it at all. Friendlies on the other side of the world and friendlies against Rangers, that just can't happen. That would be the first step towards trying to get a competitive fixture in another country, and that would just about mark the death of what's left of Scottish football, because you've seen it with competitions in Europe, the Super Cup. I think a couple of competitive games in Spain have been played abroad. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. I think it takes the last of the soul of football out of it. So I certainly don't want to see any Celtic games played abroad competitively, domestic games that should be played in Scotland. I think Celtic should only play away in Europe, obviously. I don't think playing on the other side of the world, in Asia or Australia, I don't think that's the way to go at all. There you go. That's it for the live starting 11 prediction for tomorrow. That's the team I think the manager will go with. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. It's going to be good if you're subscribed towards the end of the week, because you'll find out what the announcement is, what the new setup is, as soon as we publish it. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you tomorrow after the game for all of the full time reaction. Cheers.